Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Thursday, the 6th of February, and today we'll look at Nvidia to begin with. Once again, it's an interesting stock, of course, but first, this is a video for educational purpose only. There is no recommendation of advice whatsoever intending doing this. It's only for educational to see how I use signal analysis and how you can apply it to your charts and trading behavior. All right, let's look at Nvidia that bounced from 113 and a quarter support. We have some resistance here up at 129 and a half. We are in a bearish trend, but it's been a strong bounce. We're back about 200 moving average. We have, if it can close above 129 and a half, well, maybe there could be further upside potential, but there is some strong resistance in this area. We have these negative candles up here. So let's see about that here the next few days, whether it can turn around and push higher. The overall index, S&P 500, had a fairly good day yesterday. Bouncing from the cloud area, this little support area here, the dashed line, and it could push higher in the coming days and weeks if it can still stay above 5,900. That is key. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating likely higher levels. Nasdaq also pushing towards the 21,738. If it can close above that, then I think we will see a push above 22,000. And the Dow Jones index pushing towards this. If it can close above this bearish candle here, which is at 45,055, well, then we are indeed in a strong position to push much higher on Dow Jones index. Then it's canceled this top and reversal candle here, and I think we could see that the next few days. European markets also crawling higher, and this top and reversal like pattern here with this doji up here could be cancelled if it can close above it 5,315. Then it will be cancelled and we are in for higher levels. There's currently no divergence on the RSI indicating we could see higher levels, but it is stressed. It is a bit stressed here pre-market, unchanged, and DAX also trying to push higher. If it can get above this peak here at 21,800 and a change, then we are looking at levels above 22,000. Still no divergence on the positive sentiment on the RSI, indicating we could see it. If it takes out the lows there from earlier this week at the 3rd of February at 21,252, well, then we could drop lower to test this rising trend line here. I need to adjust it a little bit. There we are, and the 20,725. Euro dollar got rejected here at the 786 retracement at 104 and a half, just below there. Got rejected at first take. If it starts sliding lower and taking out 102.85, then expect lower levels. If it takes out 104.50, well, then we are looking at 105.30 level. The sterling dollar, well, let's see here, remove this one. It's crawling higher, but got rejected here at, and let's just add a little bit of horizontal line. It spiked above the previous peak there, but failed to follow through. It is currently at the 55 moving average, just below it. RSI rejected at 60 threshold. Well, then it looks fairly heavy again. If it can't close above 60 threshold, if it can't close above 126, well, then I think we will see a cable to resume downtrend. Euro sterling, well, still in this range here around 83 and a quarter, 83. I think we'll see it try to consolidate around this level here for quite some time after this sell-off and this quite volatile candle here. If it takes out the candle to the upside, well, then we will see a bounce higher towards 84, possibly 84.30 level, and above the 200 moving average coming down, giving it a pressure here. But for now, the negative sentiment, and I think we could maybe slide a little bit lower. Okay, moving on to dollar yen that took out yesterday the support here at 153.75. Currently around the 200 and 100 moving average, just a little bit below, spiking below the 61.8 retracement, 152.55. We are in a negative sentiment. We are in a bearish trend. I think we could see a drop to 786 retracement at 100 spot 83 level. Possibly lower, but for now it seems like that's where we are moving. We're below the 55, we're below the cloud, so that is pointing lower. Euro yen also pointing lower, around the 786 retracement, 158.05, testing 158 at the moment. We could see a little bit of bounce, but we are in a bearish trend and could push lower to 156. We have the Aussie yen also testing some support here at 95.5. I think it will push lower and could drop lower to the 93.65 level. It comes from these levels over here back in August, September last year. The sterling yen very close to testing support at the 189.5 level after being rejected here at 61.8. So I think if it takes out that, well, then we're looking at 188. Aussie dollar, a strong bounce, but seems to be struggling a little bit here. RSI once again rejected 60 threshold. We did spike above the 786 retracement at 62.79, and we touched almost touched the 63 level. But it really needs to get back above 63.35 to establish a bullish trend. If it starts sliding lower, and especially if it takes out 61.80, then downtrend has resumed. Dollar Canada, oops, there, let's just get it into focus. Support here at 142.80. I will adjust a little bit, 142.75 around this level, and the 55 moving average. I think we could see a bounce now here. There's still divergence on the RSI, but I think we could see a bounce. And let's just estimate how much maybe it could bounce to after this. There's really some psychology in it. I think we could see a bounce up to 144.70 at least. But let's see. I think we can do that. If it takes out 142.70, the spike down here from yesterday, expect the sell-off down to around 141. Sterling Canada. Let's just adjust that a little bit. Caught around here, just around 179, and testing the lower part of the cloud a couple of times. I also think we will see a little bit of a bounce here, and if it starts moving back above 180, then bullish trend is resuming. EuroSwiss, dancing around these 155 moving average at the moment. So we are still above this key support here at 93.30. As long as we are above that, then I'm a little bit positive, if you can say so. I think that we could turn around and resume bullish trend. There's also still positive sentiment on the RSI. RSI hasn't broken below 40 threshold. If it does that, well, then we are moving into negative sentiment, and then we are likely to see lower levels. But for now, it seems to bouncing off, and if it can get back above this rising trend line here, and especially above 94.50, then I think we'll see a push higher. Dollar Swiss has been extremely volatile also here lately after this, and I need to highlight, you can see this very volatile candle there, and then got knocked back, trading at around the 786 retracement at 90 at the moment, 90 and a bit, bouncing from, again, you will see bounce from the 55 here, it bounced just above the 55, but it is under pressure a little bit, but we are in a positive sentiment. So I would say if it breaks below 89.65, expect a push lower, also below 89, but if it can move back above 91 and 91.30, then I think uptrend is resuming. We have the dollar index, almost similar behavior, spiked a little bit below the 786 retracement, 107.40. If it can bounce also here from above the cloud, and still positive sentiment on the RSI. If it can move back above 108.35, well, then I think we'll see a push higher in the coming weeks. Gold spiked higher yesterday above 28.82 to be exact. It reached the 786 extension, as we can see, and projection, but extension of the triangle-like pattern here. So it measured from here to here, added to the breakout price, and 786 of that is what it reached yesterday. Also reached the 200% of this correction here, and then projected this higher. I think we will see a little bit of a setback here the next few days, but we are in a bullish trend and we are likely to push higher. I could see 2100 plus in the coming week or weeks or so, but expect a little bit of a setback here in the next few days. Silver struggling a little bit after breaking higher, a little bit of setting back here, and we can see where it actually got rejected around these levels here. Oh, sorry, there we are. Here around 32, 35, spiked a little bit higher. We could see a little bit of a setback, but we are in a bullish trend. And also, if we're looking at the weekly, we can see what it's testing. It is actually forming kind of a shoulder head shoulder pattern, but I don't think it will materialize. But if it breaks above 32.50, expect higher levels. Copper, a strong move yesterday, and also this morning breaking above 447 resistance area, testing, and it spiked a little bit of 450. I think we will push higher towards 458 and 466 level, and possibly also even higher on copper. And let me just have a look at the weekly for a moment. We can see it's broken this upper falling trend line here. We are in a bullish trend. We are in a bullish sentiment. Never went into negative sentiment. If it closes a week, doesn't have to be this week, but a week above this trend line here, or this resistance line here, just around 450, well, then we are potential to much higher levels on copper. So keep an eye on that. I'm fairly bullish on, quite bullish actually, on copper. On the oil markets, WTI crude oil once again at the 786 retracement here at just around $71. Couple of times testing, and now will it take it out and move lower? And will the RSI close below 40 threshold or not? If it does, well, then expect the WTI to push lower towards 68.40 and 67 area. If it bounces off and we see a WTI crude oil to move back above $75, then expect to push up to 80. But we are in this really wide range here. We can see every time it's being just above, just pushing to the $66, $65, then it bounces and then it's being rejected at 80. Brent crude oil, obviously more or less the same or similar behavior, just above the 786 retracement here at 74.25. If it can get back above 77 level, expect Brent crude oil to push higher. Currently, RSI is below 40 threshold. Let's see where it will end the day. On the Dutch gas. Trying to still crawling higher. I think it will do that. It is very close to its strong resistance area here at 55.25, 56 3/4 in this region here. Very strong resistance, could be tested. There is positive sentiment on RSI on both daily and weekly, and that is indicating higher levels. The US nat gas, Henry Hub gas, well, still trying to bounce up to 350. I think we'll see that, but it is quite under pressure at the moment. If it takes out 297, then expect much lower levels. The US 10-year Treasury yields, an interesting move yesterday, a very crucial move actually. Took out 450 key support once again and then closed below, massive move lower. And I did post yesterday during the afternoon that what was going on, and we talked about it for quite some time with this shoulder hit shoulder-like pattern. And I think we could dip to 438, maybe even down in the region at around 430, 4.25. If it really gets pushed. There's negative sentiment on the RSI, so it is in the cards that we could do that. But then I think we will bounce. We have the 100 moving average coming up, giving some support, and also the 200 in this region here. But in these levels here, and these levels are derived from the uptrend, as you can see, the blue one there, and from the top to the bottom at the neckline, the red ones there. But in the bigger picture, on the weekly, we're still in a bullish trend. As we can see here on the weekly chart, you can see higher high there, higher low, higher highs with bullish trend. I think we'll see it testing the upper falling trend line. Still positive sentiment on the weekly, indicating likely higher levels. We are above the cloud. So if it bounces off here, then it can turn around and push higher. The 2-year Treasury yields, well, still above the 415 support level. 100 moving average is coming here and pushing higher. Still positive sentiment on the RSI. 415 is key. 430 is a key resistance for upside potential. Looking at the European yields and the EU one that reached the 55 moving average, bounced, and we are trading around this falling trend line here, just below the 786 retracement at 238. But key is around 230. If it takes out that, well, then there are much lower levels ahead. But I think we'll bounce here at the next few days. Also the UK one at the 440, just below the 440 key support, could bounce. Could also, if it takes out the lows from yesterday, looking at 435, and then it could bounce. So let's see. It has been a strong setback here. So give it a couple of days, look out for what's happening around these levels. Bitcoin really fairly quiet the past few days. It needs to take out 90,000 to the downside and 108 to the upside for any direction. Ethereum seems to crawl, bounce a little bit, and I think it could bounce up to the 3,000 level here after this collapse there and strong bounce. I think we could see in that region. If it starts moving below the 2650 again, then we could see it push lower towards 2300. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you later.